Gather around, all you children. I'm going to tell you a story. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house, all the creatures were stirring, and not just the mouse. Hello, everyone. Welcome by. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Hello, everyone. Welcome to BodyBags. I'll be your reviewer for today. I'm Lonnie from Tats. And just before I get started, I just wanted to say, today is Christmas Eve, December 24th, and I just wanted to say, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and if you're atheist, hope you have a wonderful weekend. Just, I'm in a good mood, so just, I just hope good wishes, good health, wonderful blessings on everybody, and I hope everybody has a great weekend, whether you celebrate or don't. Just good thoughts and, good vibes and good wishes for everyone. Okay, so enough with the mushy stuff. Let's get to it. Okay, I decided, being Christmas Eve, I decided I wanted to go ahead and do a Christmas-themed horror film. And I just watched this one recently, and of course I just watched it again to get ready for the, for the review. But this is a 2018 horror anthology, and overall it's a good film, and I do recommend it. It's it's a competent Christmas horror anthology. I don't know. I don't know if I would say if I like this better than A Christmas Horror Story, but I do like it. I like both films, But anyway, so let's go ahead. We'll get started. Anyway, the story is about, we have our wraparound story, which is we meet two people, Max and Jenna, and they decide they're pretty much going on a date on Christmas Eve, and they talk about it's like we're both orphans, and it's better to be an orphan, or let's be orphans together. It's better than being alone on Christmas Eve. So they decide that they're going to go to this theater. Max had booked these tickets, and they're going to go in, and they're basically going to watch kind of like this. I forget the name of it, but it's kind of like a performance art. Where they're doing this kind of almost like pantomime, acting and stuff like that, and basically like because they're doing this, it's they're telling stories, using their bodies and their facial expressions and things like this. It's kind of like body performance art, I guess. And so they decide they're going to go ahead and watch this, and and then as they sit down and they realize like every story tells everything they do tells a story. And so we get our certain stories here. Sorry, I'm trying to be a little bit more better with this, but so our first story, we have a group of people pretty much in an office building and stuff, and you're going to see some familiar faces in this movie. One definitely familiar. Well, you're definitely going to notice because she's on the she's on the cast list. You got Jocelin Donahue, who you're going to remember from House of the Devil and Doctor Sleep, and things like that. Insidious Chapter 2, things like that. And you're going to see, it's kind of blink and miss them, but you got to keep your eyes out, because you'll see Larry Zerner, Shelley from Friday the 13th Part 3. Well, anyway, so they're in this office building. The boss is telling them, we're gonna have like a little Christmas party, and we're gonna do like a gift exchange. And of course, everybody's just in there like, oh god, I hate it, I don't want to do this, and everything. So they go in, they're getting ready to have their party, and everybody's kind of, oh well, come on, let's get this over with, and all this. And then things take a really dark turn for the worst, and I'm gonna try my best not to spoil any of these stories for anybody. Let's just say it basically turns into, what if you were working at a job in an office building, and you're going to do like a Secret Santa gift exchange, but it turns out your boss is Jigsaw. So that's kind of it. It's kind of like a holiday office party meets, a Saw torture game, I mean, literally, they're like, they have to like, fight to survive, and like the office is filling up with gas, and they got, they have so much time. They got all these presents on the table. They have to hurry up, open all these presents, before they run out of time, and and everything else. And whoever, there's going to be one lucky one, and they all, of course, everybody turns the tables on each other. Everybody, starts, you know, everybody starts, not trusting each other, and then it just all goes to hell from there. So, and I'll leave it at that. So then we go into our second story, which is, this young man. He's about ready to go home, and he's got some presents, and all this stuff, and he accidentally locks his phone and his keys in his car, and then he's stuck in this empty parking lot, and then he sees this van, and he goes and asks, he hates to have to do it, but he goes and asks them, if he could borrow their phone just so he could call like AAA, come help him out, and call his wife, let him know, like he's going to be a little bit late and stuff. And let's just say that unfortunately, him going to ask, the people in this van for help does not end well for him. Okay, and like I said, I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so I'm sorry. I know I'm being vague as hell on some of these stories, but like I said, I don't really want to give it away too much. I want you to, have a little bit of a surprise, a little bit of fun watching this. So then we get into our next story, which is, I believe this is the one about the reindeer. And so anyway, so you got this guy. What's the actor name? Matt Kelly? Yeah, Mark Kelly. Anyway, yeah, I was like, where do I remember this guy from? Then I remember I watched him in the movie Removal with Billy Burke. Sorry, with Billy Burke and Kelly Brook, the luscious Kelly Brook. Anyway, so he's driving home, and I guess he's a photographer. That's kind of the gist that I got from him. And he's looking at these pictures. He's not really paying attention to the road. And by the time he does start looking back at the road, it's too late, and he ends up hitting a deer. Well, it turns out it's not just any deer. It turns out it's a deer that has a kind of a name tag around his neck, and the name is Blitzen. You might recall a certain reindeer named Blitzen. Well, so anyway, so he hits the deer, and he goes out, he's trying to pull it off the road and everything, and he sees it's still alive. And so he takes, a big rock, and he, finishes it off, because he doesn't want to suffer. But he kills it, and then he goes home, and he meets his girlfriend, slash model, I guess, And so they're, kind of having some kind of sexy talk and banter and things like this. And it turns out, well, their romantic evening doesn't go so well because a certain reindeer decides, that they want to get, some revenge. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, I skipped over a story. That was actually the fourth story, I believe. No. Yeah, that was actually the fourth story. The third story, cannot believe I forgot this one. But the third story is actually a really dark and really clever take on, Dickens' story, A Christmas Carol. And honestly, I think that one I probably have to say is probably my favorite of the stories in this. Like I said, any horror anthology, usually stories can be hit or miss. But and then let's see, we finally get to, as the wraparound story is going along. Also, too, it's like kind of like Jenna. She realizes like this guy Max, something kind of off about him. Doesn't seem like he's all he's cracked up to be. But then not just him, but also the other people in the theater. One of them you will remember is Maria Olsen from I Spit on Your Grave, Deja Vu, things like that. Let's see here. I'm trying to remember. There's a lot of other named faces that you're going to remember from horror films and things like this in here. And then I believe now we finally get to our final story, which is you have this guy Steve, and his girlfriend Gabby, played by Constance Wu, who was in the film. Was it Crazy Rich Asians? Sorry, but anyway, so she's kind of really really adamant she wants to celebrate Christmas with him, and and so she goes with him, but here he's like you can't celebrate Christmas with me. There's there's something important I got to deal with, and just us celebrating Christmas just kind of isn't in the cards. But she kind of pushes herself, to celebrate Christmas with him, and then let's just say it ends up becoming an out of this world experience. We'll pretty much leave it at that. But but she does, admit that it's like, yeah, like things aren't really going the way she wanted, but she really just wanted to celebrate Christmas with her boyfriend, and her friends and people she cares about and everything because she said, like I've never had a Christmas, it's like my parents didn't celebrate. We never put up a tree, I never got any of the toys I wanted and everything else. And, she's like, so being this way, it ended up making me hold Christmas very, the holidays very dear to my heart and everything else, which, I mean, that's not a bad thing, it's noble. But then, of course, we come to the end, and we got to have our little end cap with the wraparound story. And like I said, I know I keep being vague about it, but just like I said, I don't want to give it away for you. But overall, like this is a pretty good horror anthology. It's pretty well made. I wouldn't say it's like I wouldn't say it's like a huge budget film, but it's not like really really like zero budget or anything like that. Like I said, it's kind of fun to watch because you can see like a number of you get to see some familiar faces if you're a horror fan. Brea Grant is in this. You remember her from Rob Zombie's H2 and Dexter and things like that. Just like I said, I'm trying to remember. Oh boy, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I would definitely say give it a shot. It's a fun film, a good horror anthology. I would just say like, I would say maybe just some of the stories are a little bit better than others. A couple of stories I think are kind of a little bit weaker than the rest, but overall, I really like this film, and I think give it a shot. Especially if you want like some fun terror tales around Halloween time or Halloween around Christmas time. You want some fun kind of scary stories. It's like kind of reminds you of the song. It's like well, scary ghost stories and what was that song? I don't know. Sorry, it's late. I got home from work. I'm just recording this now. So anyway, but. Yeah, I would definitely say all the creatures were stirring. I'm glad to have this in my Christmas horror movie collection. I just love Christmas horror movies. That's a genre or a subgenre of horror I really want to like. I got a lot of the essentials. I got the Silent Night, Deadly Nights. I got Black Christmas. I got Christmas Horror Story and stuff like that. Mercy Christmas. If I reviewed that one like a year or two ago. Mercy Christmas. I cannot stress that movie enough. It is absolutely one of my absolute favorites. And Secret Santa, Adam Marcus's Secret Santa. That movie's an awesome Christmas horror movie. But anyway, yeah, Christmas horror. That's definitely becoming one of my favorite horror subgenres, and that's something I need to do going into the new year. I really need to start um, getting back and building up my Christmas horror movie collection. So I do enjoy these films, and they're a lot of fun. So. I think that's it. So if anybody took the time to watch this, I thank you for doing it. I appreciate you for doing it. I also hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe to the BodyBags channel. We have a different reviewer, one for every day of the week. I'm the Saturday reviewer. We have different guys for every day. Everybody does great work, and I'm really, really. That's one of the things. It's like Christmas Eve. Maybe I'm just being sappy and over sentimental, but you know what? It's like I'm really, really happy to be in the company of, these other reviewers. I'm fortunate. I'm very blessed. I'm, you know, I am. I'm very lucky to, that I get to be in their company and that, they like having me around. And, I'm happy to be working with them, and I hope, this is going to continue on. So that's it. So from me to you, like I said, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. You know, like I said, if you don't celebrate, just, have a wonderful weekend. Please take care, make good choices, and everybody have a good one.